Hey guys, how's it going? Hope you're good. Sorry it's been a while since I've made a video, just been a bit busy, went on holiday, did some normal person stuff and just didn't have time. But now I am back with the Mi Band 5, which is one of the newest fitness bands. Now, I managed to get this before it's actually released in Western markets, so I have been wearing it for about a week now, and I'm going to go straight into a comparison with my current favorite fitness band, the Huawei Band 4 Pro, which I am wearing on the other arm. So I've been wearing them both for a few days actually, just to see which one I found more comfortable, which one I think looks better, which one has more accurate tracking and the better features. So we are going to go straight into a comparison between these two smart bands or fitness bands, whatever you want to call them. I think these are two of the best value right now. I will go straight in and say that the Huawei Band 4 Pro is a bit more expensive. It's around about £45, $50 or $40, I think, depending on where you get it from. But the Mi Band 5 is a bit cheaper. It's around about £25, $30, around that ballpark. So the Mi Band 5 cheaper, but the Huawei Band 4 Pro, as we're about to find out, does have a few more features. So let's go into this comparison and see which one you should get. So let's take a look at the specs of both of these watches. Let's start with the newest one, which is the Mi Band 5. So the Mi Band 5 features a 1.1-inch AMOLED full-colored touchscreen display with a resolution of 126 by 294 pixels. It has a single button which allows you to wake up the screen. It features Bluetooth 5.0 and NFC on some models, but like all other Mi Band ranges so far, the NFC version is limited to China, I do believe. It's not available in the West, so forget about that. For sensors, it features an accelerometer, a gyroscope, a PPG heart rate sensor, a proximity sensor, and a barometer. Now, apparently, the PPG heart rate sensor is now 50% more accurate than the Mi Band 4, and I found that one to be mostly accurate, bit touch and go, so that is a good sign that this heart rate monitor is a lot more accurate than the previous version. I will, by the way, be doing a comparison between the Mi Band 4 and the Mi Band 5 in my next video, so stick around if you're interested in that. If you think you might want to upgrade, I will tell you if it's worth it. The Mi Band 5 is also waterproof up to 50 meters. For functionality, it features obviously 24/7 heart rate monitoring, a step counter, 11 workout modes, a PAI score, which is essentially like a health score. It kind of adds up your heart rate and how much activity you're doing. It kind of gives you a score. I don't really see the point in it, but whatever. A new feature is that you can control your camera shutter with the watch. It also features weather alerts, a timer stopwatch, a sleep monitor, an alarm, reminders, notifications, all the kind of stuff we've come to expect from other fitness bands. Now, let's take a look at the Huawei Band 4 Pro. Let's take a look at the specs of this smartwatch. It features a 0.9-inch AMOLED touchscreen display with a resolution of 240 by 120 pixels. It features Bluetooth 5.0 for connection, but it also features an internal GPS. When it comes to sensors, it features an accelerometer, a gyroscope, PPG heart rate sensor, and an infrared sensor. It can monitor your heart rate 24 hours a day, your sleep quality, steps, and it has over 20 different workout modes. Like the Mi Band 5, it's water resistant up to 50 meters. And features all of the other kind of extra features like sleep tracking, events, notifications, camera control, timer stopwatch, all those kind of extra features is also available in the Huawei Band 4 Pro. Now let's take a closer look at both of these watches and let's see what the difference really is. The first thing is obviously the design. Now looking at the two bands side by side, they are obviously designed very differently. The Mi Band 5 has this kind of oblong shaped, it's not curved, it just sits on top of your wrist. It pops out of the plastic strap that they give you. I will say that I don't really enjoy the plastic strap that comes with the Mi Band 5. Like the Mi Band 4, it is quite cheap, it's very flimsy, and it doesn't look that high quality, it doesn't look very premium, although again we are paying $30 for this, so what do we expect really? However, I will say the actual fitness band itself, the screen is very large for a fitness band. It's it takes up most of the real estate on the device itself. It's got a glossy finish, which I really like. It makes it look very sleek, so it does, again, improve the appearance of the fitness band. In comparison, the Huawei Band 4 Pro features a curved display. It's very slightly curved, which I do prefer because it kind of curves along with your wrist. It's going to be a matter of preference which one you prefer. However, on the flip side, the Band 4 Pro, the screen that's actually usable, that actually lights up and you can see data on, doesn't take up An awful lot of the actual real estate of the fitness band, a lot of it is just a black border and a big button which takes up a lot of space. So I would say the screen to size ratio is a lot better on the Mi Band 5, but the overall design of the Band 4 Pro is better. Now, apart from price and design, one of the biggest differences between the two smartwatches is that the Huawei Band 4 Pro comes with internal GPS, whereas the Mi Band 5 only features GPS when it's connected to your smartphone. So basically what that means is that if you wanted to go running or walking or some exercise and you wanted to track your location, the Huawei Band 4 Pro can do that on its own. You don't need to take your phone with you. But if you wanted to do the same thing with the Mi Band 5, you would need to take your phone and have it connected the whole time. Now, that may not be a problem for you, and you may not mind taking your phone whenever you do exercise and you want to track your location, but some people do. Some people would prefer to have the internal GPS. I know I certainly do. I went for quite a long walk earlier today, and I wore both of the smartwatches, and I activated the walking fitness tracking mode on both smartwatches just to see how accurate the GPS was. So let's take a look at how accurate first the Mi Band 5. Now it starts off a bit weird. I definitely didn't do this little detour here, but apart from that, it seems to be pretty accurate. This is the route that I took. Now, compared to other much more expensive smartwatches from companies like Garmin, it's not going to track to an accuracy of, a couple of meters. I think the accuracy is probably within about 10 meters from what I can see here. But, most of the time, for the most part, it's tracked pretty accurately where I walked. Let's go to the Huawei Band 4 Pro and see how accurately it tracked with its internal GPS. Okay, it started off, again, a little bit weird. It probably struggled to find where I was at first, but then apart from that, it pretty much matched the accuracy of the Mi Band 5. So, yeah, it's looking like it's around about 5 to 10 meters, the accuracy in both cases, in both smartwatches or smart bands. And that is good enough for me for such cheap technology. The other difference in terms of tracking, in terms of health and fitness, is that the Band 4 Pro, the Huawei, can track SpO2, so that's blood oxygen saturation level. This is kind of a new thing that smart bands and smartwatches are introducing, SpO2 tracking. Which is fine, it's cool, it's good. It measures, how much oxygen is in your blood by shining a light into your wrist and then just detecting what color your blood is. So that basically determines how much oxygen you have in your blood, which is great. But it's kind of useless unless you do it all the time, because you only really have very low blood oxygen saturation level if you're ill, like if you've got something wrong with your lungs. I mean, that could be happening to many people right now, but it's kind of a pointless feature unless it would be less pointless if it tracked all the time, if it tracked during your sleep, because it could indicate if you have sleep apnea, if you are struggling to breathe while you sleep and you go 30 seconds without breathing, then that would be a really good feature. But for some reason, this watch, you only can activate SpO2 manually, so you can't obviously do it while you sleep. So I do think it's a kind of pointless feature, but like most smartwatches right now, it's just not that useful. The Mi Band 5 doesn't have that at all, so there is no SpO2 tracking. That was one thing that people were thinking that the Mi Band 5 would have, but it does not, so definitely no SpO2 tracking. When it comes to pretty much everything else, there is not that much difference between the two. I would say that the responsiveness of the Band 4 Pro is probably slightly better. It does seem to be a little bit smoother when it transitions between the different screens. But apart from that, the features are pretty much identical. They all feature all the extra, like music control, camera control, notifications, stuff like that. You're going to get both of those in pretty much equal measure in both the Mi Band 5 and the Huawei Band 4 Pro. I think the only other difference is that the Mi Band 5 features a modular screen. So essentially, the screen is made up of 3 individual sections, which you can change. So as you can see here, we can change the heart rate monitor here to show the weather, or we can show the step counter up here to show your continuous heart rate over a certain time. So basically, there's a lot of options. You can basically create your own home screen. The Mi Band 5 is the newer of these two smartwatches, but I would say it's probably the less advanced because it just doesn't have as many features. It lacks SpO2 tracking, it lacks the internal GPS, and I think the operating system is better in the Huawei. However, the Mi Band 5 is cheaper, so it is really aiming to be the cheapest smart band available that is decent, and I think it achieves that. But just to summarize this quick comparison, I do think that the Mi Band 5 is a decent smartwatch for the price. It is such good value. If you only want to spend $30 or £30 on a smartwatch or a smart band, the Mi Band 5 is hard to beat. It features pretty much everything you need for basic fitness tracking and basic smartwatch features. However, if you want something slightly better, I do think the Band 4 Pro is slightly more premium. It has those extra tracking features like I said. I do prefer the design. I find it a little bit more comfortable. I think it looks a bit more premium, and overall I think it's worth paying that extra bit of money. When it comes to battery life, both of these smart bands are going to be pretty good. So for me, the Mi Band 5, I charged it last 3 days ago and it's on 73%. So I've used the GPS actually quite a lot today. So you can easily go like 2 or 3 weeks if you used GPS on a minimal basis. Also, the charger is magnetic, which is quite useful. So yeah, it just pops right in and you don't have to worry about it. For the Band 4 Pro, I will say the battery life isn't quite as good. I charged this yesterday and again, used the GPS for a couple of hours and it's on 72%. I would say on average, you'll get like a week and a half out of the Band 4 Pro if you use the GPS on an average basis. When it comes to accuracy of, say, heart rate monitoring and step counts, well, let's just take a look, shall we? Because I wore this exactly the same amount. The Mi Band 5 says I took 15,576 steps today. I did a lot of walking. And the Band 4 Pro says I took 15,204 steps. So that's pretty similar. I'm going to assume that that is within the margin of error, so they both seem to be pretty accurate. Let's just do a quick heart rate check. Oh, here we go. Okay, so the Mi Band 5 says my heart rate is 57 beats per second, and the Huawei Band 4 Pro says my heart rate is 63 beats per second. So again, pretty similar. They are on different wrists, so maybe that may have a different effect, I don't know. I think my summary for this comparison is that I would personally choose the Huawei Band 4 Pro just because it has those few extra features and it's not too much more expensive. If you prefer the design of the Mi Band 5 and you prefer the bigger screen and the better battery life and you're not too concerned about SPO2 or internal GPS, this is certainly great value, and if you only wanted to spend $30, $35, then I can't really suggest anything else. If you found that useful, please give it a like, consider subscribing. I'm going to be doing a full review of the Mi Band 5 once I've worn it a bit more and used it a bit more. So that's it, guys. Yeah, let me know what you think of these watches. If you have one, let us know what you think. But until next time, I will see you around. Bye. Nope, that didn't work well. That's better.